Hello, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's my boy Erik doing? I love you.
He's doing great. He's doing great, Just
Of
like,
course he
you
is.
know me. You know me.
Oh, I know. He's always great. All right.
Yeah.
We are going to have some fun here with a notable figure, notably Henry Ford.
Yes.
So we're going to interview him. Erik, could you go get him if you haven't already?
He's got him.
Oh, good. All right. What do you see? What does he look like?
Oh, okay. So this is something actually that people have been asking me. I am not very clairvoyant. I don't
Oh, yeah.
actually
Okay.
see
All right.
what
Who
they look
cares?
like.
Who cares? They can look
Um,
like anything they want.
yes.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start to thank you, Mr. Ford, for agreeing to this interview. First of all,
This is
where did you get the
You're
idea?
welcome.
Oh, where did you get the idea to invent the vehicle?
So,
Here's a couple of possibilities. Was alien life form a part of this idea? Did they help? Or did you channel your ideas from your higher self or something?
what he's saying to me is that a lot of what he did here was contracted before he came in. So
Oh,
it was going to happen. He was going to do these things.
okay.
And actually what he's showing me, and I say showing me, and I know I just said I
Right.
don't see images a lot, but I do sometimes. What he's showing me is that he was actually learning how to do that stuff on the other side before he
Oh,
came in to this lifetime, to that lifetime, so
pretty.
that when he got here he knew. So it wasn't necessarily, he says that's where it's complicated. He's very okay, hold on, he's very deliberate. He's very
Okay.
deliberate as he's talking. So alien technology, he says, not necessarily because he was on the other side,
Right. Okay.
but there was extraterrestrial technology or technology that already existed on other planets that he was learning how to
Oh.
bring here and really amp up while he was
Oh,
here.
cool. All right, next question. Did you steal or cheat the car design from the black car maker, Frederick Patterson? If no, did you compensate him and give him credit publicly?
So what he's telling me is that it stole some ideas, yes.
Okay.
Not total, not the total, I stole the whole thing and I'm going to do it now, but definitely picked off some ideas
Okay.
and used them as his own.
Did you compensate? Or
Not publicly,
okay.
not necessarily publicly, but behind the scenes.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. Okay. Why didn't you ever, I don't know any about think about this. Why did you ever release the carburetor that could go hundreds of miles before having to refill with gasoline? The carburetor would have anything to do with that? I don't know.
So what he's saying actually is that some of the stuff that he, just like now we still have this happening, where other companies or other interests come in and squash things.
Like the fossil fuel industry?
Mhm.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. Why were you threatened or were you paid off? Or
Paid off,
well, okay. Mhm.
incentivized, he says.
Oh, okay. You're doing great. This is wonderful. Could you please tell us what you knew at the time, if anything, about the impact cars would have on the environment? Probably didn't even think about that back then.
Yeah, no, no, not to the extent. He theorized some stuff, but that's all it was at the time because
Yeah.
we didn't really know. And he's actually saying he thought it would be worse. He actually thought it would be worse.
Okay.
But things, I guess, have happened since then that have actually made it a little cleaner than it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Catalytic converter and all that stuff. Was, and this is a follow-up question, was non-renewable resource something that was even thought about at that time?
he says it was like I feel like it's kind of funny, like a kernel of corn.
Okay.
Because wasn't corn like isn't
Yeah,
corn?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he was making a joke. He was
Okay.
like a kernel. The idea was like a kernel of corn at that point.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I bet. So, what do you think we'll eventually have that's completely renewable as far as cars? Would fusion? Will we continue to do electric, which is still very bad for the
It's
environment?
yeah, the electric is not the solution.
No,
It's
like
just really not.
can we harness net zero energy or 0 point energy, whatever it's called, or hydrogen fusion cells, or
This will have to be this will have to be um done through extraterrestrial intervention.
ooh, goody,
It's just going to have to be. And he says to me like it's down the road.
way
Like
down the road. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Knowing what you know now, would you have designed the car any differently?
no,
Okay.
no. Very confident here. He said absolutely not.
Well, what would you have done if you didn't go into cars?
No, that was not. He says that was not.
There was nothing else.
There was a lot of stuff in the contract as far as that goes for him and what he was here to do as far as Ford Motor Company.
Okay. Uh, so what do you think of the new leadership? I don't know anything about this at the Ford Foundation in New York City. Do you think it's right that the gallery is solely focused on African American Black artists? Should other artists be represented?
So really what he was saying is that it's changed with the times. There's this feeling of like this is okay for now, but eventually he says other artists will be. It's not, it's going to adapt. It's going to change.
Right.
But he says for now this is okay. Now he says, don't get me wrong. If I were there and who I was when I was there, he would have a big problem with it. But from where he is now, this is fine.
Okay. All right. If you were here now, what would the gallery be focused on? All sorts of artists from different ethnicities or races,
He,
or
yes, it would be who he says who I was when I was here and the times that are now.
yeah,
Those two things don't mesh.
yeah.
Those two, we're talking about the late 1800s into the early mid 1900s. It was very very different.
They
So
probably would have only had white artists, for example.
it's this definitely yes
Yeah,
he
of course.
yes.
Of course. All right. Was overhauling the manufacturing process a goal or a result of improving production?
So he's saying that he had the intentions when he got started to do this. So it was a goal to start with. It did
Okay.
adapt and kind of change as he was working in the industry and stuff. But it was he said I knew that there was a better way to do things.
Yeah. I often think about you and how the automobile just has changed life. When I look at our freeways just sprawling all over the country, filled with cars and and how people have become more mobile because of it. Families have actually spread apart. They don't live all
Mhm.
together in the same, city anymore. So that's kind of a negative impact. But um, it's just amazing how it has transformed society, the world.
Yes. Well, and he's saying on the big picture of Earth,
Yeah.
it needed to get like this so that people could have more experiences, so that humans could have more
Oh,
experiences. If we didn't have this, it would vastly delay the
yeah.
human experience and the evolution and the spiritual growth.
Yeah.
It had to be this way.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. That's makes sense. What do you think about it when you look at Earth now? All the cars everywhere.
So he says on a soul level,
Hmm.
he is, we have like our soul DNA, like the stuff that just kind of stays with us. Not everybody on a soul level would want to come in and work on machines.
Right.
It's just not for every soul. On
Sure.
a soul level, he says he likes engines, machines, technology, that sort of thing. So he loves it.
Ooh, you and Eric should tinker on something because
Yes.
Eric loves mechanical stuff too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. How would you compare Elon Musk to yourself? How has it being an entrepreneur changed from then to now? That's a two-part question.
So there are in the when he says we're talking just industry technology advancements. There are a lot of similarities between the two of them.
Okay.
There are a lot. They were both catalysts
Oh yeah.
to something bigger.
Oh yeah.
So and he even says, I mean, yeah, the times are different, but when you're somebody that's here to make big changes, you get a lot of pushback, you get a lot of hate, you get a lot of support, and so there are a lot of similarities in that regard.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Please tell us your thoughts on how your company has changed over the years. And is there anything you would have changed if you were still running the company today?
Okay, so he says now when we're asking this question, he's putting himself as who he was when he was
Of
here.
course, of course.
He never could have made, the company would never have survived under his
Oh, wow. Okay.
into the nowadays.
Why?
He says I would have been canceled.
Oh, yeah. Cancel culture. Okay.
So yes, he
Right.
would have definitely been canceled. So
Yeah.
so it's good that it's people running the company who are adapting and changing and staying with the times.
Okay. Interesting. Well, my eye catches this question, so that could explain a lot. I did not know this. What did you see in Adolf Hitler, and why did you support the Nazi Party? That would have got you canceled for sure.
Yes. Yes. So well, okay. So he's like, well, let's try to tiptoe into this. Quite frankly, he was just, what is it, anti-Semitic?
Oh, you're anti-Semitic?
Yeah. Yes.
What did you have against Jews? Then, I
So
mean, think about when you were your human self, not now. I know.
yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. And of course, he does not sit in that same place now. When
Of
he
course.
was human, there's very much, he said this a lot of times when somebody is very smart, not always, there can be that, like that fine line between genius and insanity.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And in this aspect of his life, he had some paranoia.
Okay.
This is just where he focused on, and he just believed in the Nazi
Yeah.
stuff and Hitler, and he just thought that that was right.
But did you even feel like exterminating 6 million Jews was okay?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he said, yes, I did.
Well, I really appreciate your honesty, but I know you don't
Ugh.
feel that way now.
Yes.
But that was a very important and necessary part of our history, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes.
All right. Do you see that net zero energy as something attainable?
It is eventually going to be attainable through extraterrestrial intervention.
When do you, I mean, I know,
It's
timeline's
not,
variable,
it's not right around the corner.
is it
So he
less than or
says,
more than 100 years?
okay, so he was just saying that the people who are on Earth right now, there will be very few of them here when this actually happens. So
Okay. All right.
90, 100 plus years.
Okay. Well, maybe we have to run out of all fossil fuels for it to happen because I bet we have the technology, but the fossil fuel folks aren't going to allow it.
He says that the technology that is actually going to get us there is not actually quite here yet.
Okay.
But it's being worked on, and we've got some of the pieces, not all of them.
Okay. Does the technology for a water powered car exist?
Yes.
What do you think
Yes,
the next type of car will be? Hydrogen fuel, scalar run car. I mean, I know that Nikola Tesla created a car. Maybe it was just a little model of a little thing that
It's
could go on indefinitely.
And I know that there's magnetic stuff with the electric cars, right? Because
Yeah,
people
I
with
don't know.
pacemakers can't ride in them. But he
Oh,
was saying it's going to be something in combination with magnets
okay.
and um some sort of some sort of gas, but not like the gas not like the gas that we use
Okay.
now.
Okay.
This is beyond my scope of
Oh,
understanding,
me
quite
too.
frankly.
Oh my God.
So
Like a nuclear fusion kind of thing, or
it says like something very clean.
okay.
And he's showing me like, and I don't know anything about cars or the
I
engines
don't
and how they
either.
work, but like
Mhm.
with the magnets will be like opening and closing things. And he says this is also not a, and until like with the pacemakers, which is of course is a sensitive thing for me because I have a grandchild with a pacemaker. So I
Oh
have,
yeah, yeah.
you know, so, but it's magnets and like he says chambers are opening the way that the chambers open and
Okay.
close. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, I don't either. So maybe somebody out there does. Put it in the comment section.
Yes.
What do you think is the least polluting form of transportation right
The
now?
least bicycle.
Funny. All right.
That's what he said.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we continue with that answer, what do you think about electric cars? Are they truly beneficial for the planet, or do they create just as much pollution as gas cars? I mean, we
Well,
have to.
because of the, you know, the battery and the whole thing, it's, he said they've created a problem. They've created another issue. Um,
Yeah.
so it's, yeah, it's definitely another issue. You know, with
Right.
the
So
huge
it's
batteries with I'm sorry, that the Teslas have to have or whatever.
yeah, and you have to mine those. And with
Yes,
that, you have to use mining equipment that uses gas or
right.
diesel engines and all that stuff. So, all right. Um, what do you think about the new Kia car that Ford company is in partnership with? I don't know anything about that. Will it be a hit or a miss? That's just a quick yes or no, I guess.
I get a thumbs up from him for that.
Okay. Okay. Um, whose idea was Kingsford coal? Oh, I mean, charcoal. That's the charcoal I use. Kingsford, those blue, white, and red sacks. I
Whose
didn't know
idea
that
was
he
it?
had anything to do with that.
Whose I whose idea was it? I it
One of your family members, or
yeah, it's like he's showing me like there's like three or four people. I don't know who these people are.
okay.
There's like three or four people it's who come up with it. But I don't names as far as names
Oh,
and
were
who
they
these people
relatives?
were.
Relatives, colleagues?
Colleagues,
Okay.
other people who were kind of revolutionaries, this sort
Okay.
of thing. I do feel one family member, but the other two people don't feel family.
Okay. What life lesson surprised you the most, and what life lesson made you grow the most? So which one surprised you most? We'll start with that one.
Which life lesson surprised you most? That money wasn't all that mattered, is what he said.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Which life lesson, it could be the same one, made you grow the most?
He says death, loss, death.
Okay,
I don't
wow.
know who he lost, but there was people
Okay.
that he loved and lost
Oh, wow.
as and that those were the lessons for him that made
Okay.
him grow the most.
Okay. Well, I forgot to ask the follow-up question. Besides the bicycle, which form of communication pollutes the least?
Transportation pollutes the least. He's honestly just showing me like moped, something
Okay.
that doesn't have as much, you
Okay.
know, output of,
Something electric, I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
So even yeah, even the electric,
Yeah.
yes, electric, yes, but it still has its other issues.
Oh, of course. Did you get to meet historical figures that you've always admired or wondered about after you crossed over?
Yes.
Cool. Like,
Uh,
can you name a couple that, and also beings from other worlds?
yes. So, and this is where I struggle because I don't know famous people that well. I'm not like a history buff. I don't know
Yeah,
famous
no.
people
Right.
that well.
That's okay.
So I like he said this. There were some that he already had known before he had come in, like he had met,
Well, were they
already.
famous musicians or engineers or politicians or
So
leaders,
it-
religious leaders?
not necessarily religious leaders, political
Okay.
leaders, like world leaders,
Oh,
is the area he's showing me. I do hear some musician,
okay.
musician. I wish I was better with names and being able
It's
to
not
name
important. It's
people.
just that really the type is more important. So
Yes.
that's not even important. But but you did you um meet beings from other worlds too?
Yes, but that he was even, before he came in, he was, because he was working with.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, the ones
Yes,
that you worked with before coming
yes,
in on the contract to build the car.
yep, to help with the technology.
Okay.
Yes.
Will we, in the not too distant future, I knew this one was coming, have flying cars like in the Jetsons?
Okay. So he's saying the technology already exists, but he is kind of doing like this, like we are not ready for that, like to actually be
They're gonna
traveling like
butt
that.
into each other, you know?
Yes. Yeah. He's saying the technology already exists though, but then he does say, like, at what point does that just become a plane? Like a
I know. Yeah,
like at what point is it just a plane?
that's right. Yeah. I didn't think about
So
that, but that's true.
yes.
We do have flying cars, they're called airplanes.
Yeah.
All right, but I guess they're talking about individuals, like pack up the
Yeah.
go to the zoo and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
He's kind of giving me the no, this isn't really.
Okay. Do you still get to enjoy your hobbies over there?
Yes.
Of course. I don't know what your hobbies were, but is there something that you can share with us um, that almost nobody knows? It could be something fun too. It would be preferable.
Something that you can share with us that almost nobody knows. You know what was funny when you said that? And I I don't necessarily I don't necessarily know that he was doing it here, but he started knitting.
Oh, okay.
So, and
Interesting.
I felt like here he must have been very tactile as far as like liking stuff to be very soft.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Um, who was your most influential teacher in life?
Somebody on a professor level.
Okay.
One of his professors.
Okay. All right.
I see a male professor, but one of his professors.
All right. How was your childhood, by the way? That's not on the list, but what was it like growing up as Henry Ford?
So I feel like, he wasn't, obviously he was Henry Ford when he was growing up, but he wasn't Henry Ford when he was growing
Yeah.
up. So,
Right. Right.
it was a pretty standard life for what I don't know. I know he's born in the 1800s.
Okay.
Tough, hard,
Was
you
your
know.
mother and father, were they kind or abusive? Were they good parents or not so good?
I feel loving. Like I feel like there was
Okay.
love in his childhood.
Okay.
But there was also, it was also tough. There was also hard work. I feel like
Discipline.
he was,
Oh,
working when he was young, or
okay.
this sort of thing.
Okay.
In intellectual the intellectual stuff was with him right from the beginning. So somebody was nurturing that
Okay.
right from a young
Oh,
age.
good.
I
Good.
don't, it doesn't feel horrific, and it doesn't feel like, oh
Idyllic.
my God, this is, yeah, it feels,
Yeah,
somewhere in
standard
the
for those
middle there.
times.
Yes.
Did
Yep.
anybody ever call you Hank?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but not many.
Okay. Did you like that or not like it?
Eh. He's,
You didn't like it. Okay. Well, I think you've already answered
there
this.
must have been a grandmother. He keeps talking about a grandmother. There must have been a
Oh,
grandmother that was around quite a bit, or maybe even living with them.
okay. They
And
call
I when you s- yeah when yeah the, when you said that, like, grandmother energy popped in again.
okay.
Um
Was your life purpose connected to advancing civilization through transportation?
Absolutely.
Of course, that's what we did here. How many past lifetimes have you been here on Earth? And were you anyone famous that we would know from a past life?
No, he says this was the only famous
Okay.
life he had. So he puts me in the double digits as far as past lives here.
Can you describe one that most influenced your one as Henry Ford?
So he's showing me something working on before that life as Henry Ford.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on like something big, like big equipment.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if I don't know what this is, like if it's a printing press type of, I don't know what
Okay.
is, I don't know what this is, but
Some
it
giant
feels
machine like the Gutenberg printing press?
big. It feels, yeah, like large like this. So this was not his first life
Tinkering
creating or inventing or tinkering. Um,
with machinery, yeah. So some big machine.
uh,
It was a big printing press, the Gutenberg.
perhaps it was. I don't quite know what this was. And then he made a joke. I don't know if he was funny when he was Henry Ford, but he's definitely funny now. He said, I wasn't there when the wheel was invented. Like he didn't invent the wheel, but
Okay.
it's
Oh
just
my
kind of
God.
funny. So, because what he was saying is that he had other lifetimes where he was always a tinkerer and trying to find a better way to do something. Like, with the he's going like way back, like with lanterns and stuff, and trying to find a better way to light up it. So it's like that sort of energy that he'd had many lifetimes.
Okay. And I'm looking outside to make sure I'm mute when Maria comes through the door. So the dogs
Oh.
they bark. Okay. Only a couple more questions. If you were alive today, what vehicle would you buy and why?
So he actually said Tesla
Oh,
to
okay.
me.
Because
Just for the experience of it, for the fun of it, for the newness of it, just the, yeah.
you don't have
Although
to
I feel
crank it
like,
up. You don't have to crank
yeah,
it to start. That's good.
right. He's not a huge fan of the sleekness
Okay.
of the Teslas. He
Okay.
likes something a little edgier.
Oh, okay. Um, it's amazing that you had this disruptive technology and that you put the horse and buggy people out of business and the horse whip business that went by the wayside.
Yes.
So what do you think about that? I mean, there were people getting all upset. The
Yeah,
horse
he
and buggy
said that was
drivers.
always going to happen.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was just always going to happen.
yeah, exactly. Same with
Because,
carbon paper. I
yep.
mean,
So anything that transitions out, because something better comes along,
right,
it was always going to happen.
right. I wonder what the next disruptive technology will be. Maybe it will be finding a new source of energy. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any regrets?
No,
Okay.
no. So what he's saying, and Erik kind of stepped forward for this too, because he was taking me to his life review.
Okay.
And he said that there were things in his life review that maybe he was intending to work on or do better in. But from the other side, we don't look at those as regrets.
Yeah. Just teachable moments, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your transition. That's really the last question I have. What was that like? I mean, I don't even know what your beliefs were. Did you believe in an afterlife when you were alive?
So what he's saying is that kind of changed, like throughout his life. There were times when he didn't, and times when he did, and times that he
Okay.
wondered. And so I don't feel a real solid this is my belief the whole way through. It
Okay.
kind of adapted and changed. He was what he says when he was here, he was very much about the here and the now and the creating and the
3D world.
material.
Right.
Yes, the 3D world. Yes.
Right.
Um, so what he says about his actual passing is that he says it's like he's here and then he's there. Like
It was
it's just
instantaneous.
it's just well, like sometimes people will from the other side will tell me like they went through the light and they're
Tunnels and stuff.
seeing
Yeah.
things as they're going through, or
Yeah.
somebody comes and gets them from the other side and takes them over. And then some just say I was here, and then the next thing I knew, it was like I had gone to sleep when I woke up over there. What he's telling me is it was kind of like that for him. He's just here on this side, and then he's there on the other side. And so it must have been an abrupt passing, because Erik was saying he was kind of like in that cocoon
Okay.
for what, like a couple days, a few days
Oh,
before he transitions over, just to, so there's not like confusion or
a
something.
big shock. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he shows me just a bunch of people there to greet him.
Oh, so when you first were in the afterlife, what did you see? Was it just blackness for 2 days, or was
So,
it white
so
room?
he's not, there's no real awareness of that on his end.
Okay. Okay.
So
Right.
for him, it just feels like I went to sleep, I woke up, and I was on the other side. Erik was
Okay.
telling me that during that time, he was kind of, being like cocooned or healed, or, sometimes
Okay.
like I'll see this, like if somebody has a really bad drug problem or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
and they go into that sort of like cocoon so that they're not just,
Yeah. Right. Right.
what happened? And that's what I'm seeing here. And then just people, faces. And he says, because he's very analytical, and that
Mm.
does kind of carry through into the soul's DNA.
Oh, I
So
bet.
he
Yeah.
says, I was standing there and I'm looking and I'm saying, well, I know these people have died. So
I must be dead.
yeah, yep.
Put two and two together. All right. Anything else you want to share? Any messages for the world? Any advice for us before we close?
He said, he says, just be kind, be kind. And that was something, it's funny. He says, in some areas I was so kind, and in others I was just
That is
not.
true. Yeah, right. You did
And
something. I can't remember the first one that did something extraordinary for your workers, paying them a lot more or something. I can't remember, but
yeah, and so he says that that's kind of one of the areas that when he looked at his life review, he had the ability to be so kind. He just didn't see that everybody
yeah.
deserved that kindness.
Oh, especially Jews.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's just been an honor talking to you. And Jennifer, thank you. This was awesome. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And you can get in touch with her at psychicmediumjenniferdorn.com. All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Love you.
Erik's
I love
blowing you
you, Eric.
kisses. I love
Yep.
you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Oh,